We're down to the final week of the high school basketball season, and we're here on a new Beyond the Arc to preview the state championship for Class 3A and 4A. Brian Chimino back with Michael O'Brien of the Chicago Sun-Times. Before we get into the semifinal brackets taking place on Friday and Saturday, the big story out of Normal, Illinois, the past couple of years, it's been the Bermuda Triangle for city teams down there in the Super Sectional. Previous 2 years, Tyler Eulis, Marion Catholic, upset in the Super Sectional. This year, the number 1 seed, Simeon Wolverines, going down to Normal Community, 64-50. And Mike, for the first time since 2008, no city team in line for a state championship in 4A.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, it's an upset, no doubt. Simeon was the number 1 team. You know, they have all that Division I talent, but Normal, put together a rock-solid season. They were a confident team, full of seniors. The kids all played together during the club season the last few years. So, just one of those really good, great high school basketball teams. They did what everybody's been trying to do to Simeon for the playoff run in the last month. They pack a zone, contain Edward Morrow in the post, dare Simeon to shoot. That hadn't worked because Simeon had shot well. In the last few games, they were 1 for 15 from three-point range, and that was it. That was the game. Normal moves on.
What do you take away from the Simeon team this year? Because we hyped the big three, probably did not really turn out that way. Didn't achieve any goal pretty much, except, like you said, winning Pontiac.
Yeah, Robert Smith, after the game, said a quote that a lot of people, I think, are confused about, but he said, we had a great season, but we didn't achieve any of our goals, winning city or winning state. I mean, they did have a great season. They beat some of the best teams in the country. They won Pontiac. They smashed Stevenson in that game. They had a tremendous record. But in the big games they needed to win, except for that Stevenson one, the big games that brought them hardware or would take them to state, they just fell short.
All right, let's preview Peoria this Friday, starting with Class 3A semifinal at 12:15. It'll be Morgan Park trying to go for the three-peat, and they'll be taking on Belleville-Altoff.
Yeah, this is going to be just a fabulous game. And I got to say, Morgan Park is the underdog. Belleville-Altoff is the favorite. They lost in double overtime to St. Joseph earlier in the year. They are 28-3. There's a guy to watch for them for sure. A 6'4" sophomore, Jordan Goodwin. He scored 33 points against St. Joseph. He's averaging 21 points and 9 rebounds this year. They have 2 other really good juniors on their team. They got some size. This is a rock-solid team. They're going to give Morgan Park all they can handle. It's really going to take a huge game from Morgan Park stars, from Charlie Moore and Marcus Levette, and those bigs, all those 6'4" to 6'6" guys Morgan Park has that crashes the boards. They're going to really need to do that. This is going to be a fabulous game.
Morgan Park, we said, were the underdogs going into state last year, and it turned out pretty well for the Mustangs. Other semifinal at 2 o'clock, St. Joseph's downstate for the first time since 1999, and they'll be taking on Rockford Lutheran.
This is the one, when you look at it on paper, St. Joe should roll. They're the clear favorites. However, you also look at papers with St. Joseph scores over the past few months, they play down to their competition. They barely got through a St. Patrick's team that, they're a good team, and Nick Coleman's an exciting guard, but man for man, St. Joseph's was better on every position on the floor. That game should not have been so close. So maybe Rockford Lutheran can keep it close. They do have 2 good players. Joseph Kellen, he's a 6'1" guard, averaging 19 points. Nate Weeding is a 6'4" big with averages 14 points and 9 rebounds. So they have, some solid players. They're a solid team, but they're totally overmatched. St. Joe should be able to win this.
And the state title game will be taking place on Saturday at 2 p.m. Let's look up at Class 4A. The first semifinal will start at 6:30. It'll be the Stevenson Patriots, easily the favorite in Class 4A, and they'll be taking on probably the biggest underdog in Class 4A, the Bolingbrook Raiders.
A lot of complaints about 4-class basketball from me, from a lot of people. This is a really exciting field in 4A. If you look at it, you got the best team from the north, Stevenson. The best team from the west, Geneva. The best team from the south, southwest suburbs, Bolingbrook. And you've got the best team from downstate, Normal. The only thing we're missing is a Chicago team, but we've had 2 teams from Chicago most years, so that's fine. It's a nice change. We'll shake things up. In this first game, Stevenson-Bolingbrook might not be the best game of the tournament. Bolingbrook is a talented team. They got 3 or 4 Division I players, a big man in Julian Torres, he's 6'9". They've got Prentice Nixon, who is a dynamic guard. He's going to Colorado State. He's really good. But it's hard to see them really keeping up with Stevenson. Bolingbrook just hasn't played in the big games. They haven't seen the bright lights before, really. And they kind of snuck their way into this one, beating a West Aurora team that was without 3 starters. So Stevenson, heavy favorite in this first game.
The other semifinal on Friday at 8:15, it'll be Geneva, who survived double overtime against Lake Park in the Super Sectional. They'll be taking on Normal Community, who comes into this game 32-1.
Yeah, Normal, they're for real. That Simeon win was not a fluke. They can win the state tournament. This game's going to be tough. Geneva, obviously, I've been a doubter all year. They're a good team. I did not think they had the backcourt to even win their regional. And here they are at state. They've proven me wrong. They've proven a lot of people wrong. They are giant. They are the biggest team in the state, the biggest team in the state tournament. Nobody's going to be able to out-rebound them. And that was another one of the key factors in Normal's win over Simeon, was they out-rebounded very big Simeon. So watch the battle of the boards in this one. Nate Navigato is a dominant high school basketball player for Geneva. If he plays well, they can win this game, but I think this one's a pick'em.
And also on Saturday, around the state championship game, IHSA will be making a very big announcement.
Yeah, they're going to decide who won the bid for the state tournament. It is up for grabs right now between Peoria, Champaign, and the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates. Not a lot of whispers about this one. It's kind of hard to pick. I got a gut feeling they might return to Champaign. I think the Sears Center is a long shot, and it's really likely they could stay in Peoria. So I would say Peoria and Champaign, it comes down to those two, but the announcement will come Saturday. It's going to be big news, kind of any way you look at it.
And we'll be expecting big crowds in Peoria, Class 3A and 4A this weekend. Stick with the Chicago Sun-Times and High School Cube News throughout the weekend for all your coverage. Also, check out our YouTube channel and subscribe. Our final MVP segment of the year, it'll be Charlie Moore of the Morgan Park Mustangs. For Michael O'Brien, I'm Brian Chimino. We'll see you guys next time.